Hey everyone, I'm Sison, and today we're taking a look at the Sigma MC-11 adapter for the Sony E-mount system. Now I'm really excited to try out the Sigma MC-11 adapter, mainly because it states that Sigma is allowing you to use your Sigma lenses as if it were acting as native E-mount lenses. Now, what's great about that is that it's opening a whole range of options for you if you want to use Sigma lenses on your E-mount bodies. Now, just to be more specific, you can use Sigma Art, Contemporary, and Sports Series lenses on the adapter, but they have to be in the Canon EF mount. Now, I'll leave a link in the description down below just so you can see a table where you can use which lenses are compatible. But this is going to be a great option because it's basically allowing you to use IAF, continuous autofocus, aperture control, direct manual focus, and a whole lot of options that you can use as if it were a native lens. Now stay tuned because I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of the adapter, and I'm going to be using a couple of Sigma's lenses on it as well. Now to quickly show you around the adapter, this little slot here is to plug in your USB cable when you want to update your firmware. This is the lens release switch. Over here is your Canon EF mount, and over here is the Sony E-mount. Now of course you do have some lens contacts, so XF data will be transferred from the lens to your actual photos, which is a great thing to have. And you've got some felt lined within to reduce reflections as well. Before I forget, there is also a tiny light that turns on for different reasons. If the light turns on and is green, it means that the lens is compatible with the adapter. If it's blinking green, it means that the lens is compatible, but the lens also needs a firmware update. If it turns orange, that means the adapter's firmware needs to be updated. And finally, if no light turns on, that means it's not compatible. Now before I get into the nitty-gritty, it's best to update the firmware of the adapter when you buy it, just in case there are any updates to enhance performance or iron out any bugs. To do this, all you need to do is go on the Sigma website, which I will also link in the description of this video, and download a program called Sigma Optimization Pro. Make sure you download the program for your computer's operating system and just wait until it's finished downloading. After that, open the program. It will then prompt you to connect the adapter to the computer. Once that's done, it will say that it's connected on the top right hand corner, and a little green light will appear on the adapter. You can see some product information like the serial number and firmware version on the program, and click firmware update and it will show you whether the adapter needs to be updated or not. For myself, the adapter was up to date, so everything should be functioning properly. If it hasn't, all you need to do is follow the instructions on the program. But while it is updating, it's important not to disconnect the USB, as it may cause your adapter to malfunction. Once that is done, you may need to update the firmware of the lens now, just in case there are any bugs or firmware updates that are needed to allow the lens to function properly. What you need is the Sigma USB dock for Canon, which has the model number UD01. Now take the lens that you want to update the firmware for. In this case, it is a Sigma 50mm f1.4 Art. Remove the cap off the USB dock mount and attach it to the lens just like you would a camera. Like the adapter, all you need to do is attach the supplied cord to the USB dock, open the program, and click firmware update. This will check if you need to update the lens, but if not, then you're good to shoot. Now I'm trying this adapter with several lenses from Sigma, so stay tuned for future videos because I'll get more in depth with it. Now this is just a quick test with the Sony A7R Mark II using the center point autofocus. The autofocus speeds seem to work reasonably well on the Sigma 50mm f1.4 Art. I did try this on a few Canon lenses that were available to me, like the 16-35mm, which was quite fast. And the 50mm f1.4, which hunted a little bit. Take note though, you do miss out on a few autofocusing modes like direct manual focus, IAF, and other things like zone focusing area on your camera. I also tried it with the Sigma 70-200mm, but unfortunately didn't work at all. Now the Sigma MC-11 converter is a great choice for anyone who is looking to expand their lens options, especially within the Sigma lineup. Like I said earlier, it can be used with the Art, Contemporary, and Sports series lenses from Sigma, and it has to be with the Canon EF mount. Now, what's a bit disappointing is the autofocusing speed, where I hoped it would have been as fast as Sony's E-mount lenses. Now, performance did vary from lens to lens, with the 50mm f1.4 Art being the best to focus, and the 12-24mm f4 Art being a bit slower, but if you're photographing landscapes and architectural photography, it doesn't necessarily need to be that fast. Now, what is a bit more of a letdown is the 150-600 Contemporary, where it was very slow to focus, and in some instances it missed the mark completely. Now that's a bit unfortunate from Sigma because I see them as a very high-end brand, and it's amazing what they've done within the last couple of years. Now, what also would have been great with Sigma is that if they included weather seals on this adapter, so you can get the complete weather sealed package if you had a weather sealed Sigma lens. Now we all know most of the A7 bodies, well, all of the A7 bodies are weather sealed, as well as the high-end lenses, high-end cameras from Sony like the A6500. Now, I would have also hoped that you could update the firmware of the lens with this adapter instead of buying a USB dock. Now, you can update the firmware of the adapter, but if you could have updated the firmware of the lens itself, that would have been a good cost-saving feature. Now, if you are someone switching from Canon to Sony and have a lot of Sigma lenses, now this is obviously a no-brainer to get. And if you're a Sony shooter that loves using Sigma lenses like myself, this is also a great option for you if you want to use the Art, Contemporary, or Sports series lenses on your camera. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if you already own one, let me know what you think of it, and let me know what lens you're using with it as well. And remember to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for more Sigma lens reviews and tutorials. Also, be sure to leave a comment below to let me know which Sigma lens you want me to review with this adapter. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more sample photos and photo updates. And until then, happy shooting and thanks for watching.